Hello and welcome. Thank you guys so very much for taking the time out of your day to check out another one of my videos. Today I am so excited. I think I teased you in my last video saying that we were going to start the countdown to my top 20 palettes from 2021, but I'm going to push it off a little bit because DeDe Signature is launching a new palette and it's coming out tomorrow, and since she sent it to me early, I was really wanting to try to get a video of it up for you guys, so I figured I'd sneak it in here before we start the countdown for the top 20. But yeah, it's a new palette from DeDe Signatures. It's called the Neutral Wonder Eyeshadow Palette. I love it on the back because the quote says, "Make the browns exciting," and I was like, okay, DeDe, can you make browns exciting to me, who never really likes to play with browns? You guys know me, but neutral palettes kind of bore me. So I was really curious, and opening it up, do we see this? I think I'm a little washed out. Give me 1 minute. I think that's better. I was looking like Casper for a second, but here is the palette. It's still a little washed out because the packaging is white, but look at this. I am intrigued. I opened this and I was like, okay, the mattes don't look like they have too much to them or too much, variety to them. It's neutral with a purpley mauve tone thrown in there, but look at these shimmers. I know they're dirty. You guys know whenever I use a palette, it just gets dirty, but look at these shimmers. And you guys know how much I love DeDe Signature shimmers because they're always so special and like blinding and gorgeous. So I dove right in, and today we're going to be going over the palette. Let's go ahead and do swatches, and I'm just going to put them up over the screen and you guys can watch it as we talk. But I was super excited to get into these shimmers because they look so shifty and beautiful. I still kind of consider this video I'm giving you guys like an informed first impression. It's not my thorough review because I haven't done a ton of different looks, worn it a ton of different times to see wear time and like how it performs and how it behaves with various primers and whatnot. But today I am going to do another look on camera and then share with you guys the two previous looks I've done this morning and yesterday. So I'll give you guys a total of 3 looks and give you guys my first impressions from using it those 3 times. So that is my plan for this video. I'll also be throwing in swatches if you guys are curious to see what they look like. Curious to see what these gorgeous shimmers look like when they're swatched on the skin. We're going to get into that. But yeah, that is what we're going to do in today's video. I'll put on the screen all the details, but if I am able to get this video out when I want to, it should be launching tomorrow if you are interested. And I do have a code, I'm pretty sure. I'll put it on the screen. And of course, I'll have my link down below, which my link is affiliate as well. But yeah, I was super intrigued when DeDe sent this to me, and just the whole make the browns exciting. I was like, okay, let's see if she can make me excited for a very neutral palette. So with that said, let's go ahead and just dive right in. We're first going to dive into the talk through where I'm going to give you guys my first impression review as I'm doing the third and final look, and then we'll move on to the rest of the eye looks and overall thoughts in the end. But I'm going to go ahead and pause. I'm going to go take off this eye look, and then we can dive right into the third look, and I'm going to see how exciting I can get these eye looks, and I cannot wait. So be right back. Alright, so up close and personal, I have a clean, well, not clean, I just primed my eyes with, let's see, I'm going to use a Lorac Behind the Scenes eyeshadow primer and the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. This is like my holy grail when it comes to eye primers. I feel like these never do me wrong. And I think the first day I tried a more stickier primer, and I didn't like how it was starting to stick to the shadow and not wanting to blend. So I'm going to go with my tried and true today to do today's eye look. And I don't know if you can see, but I have a little liner. I did yesterday's palette number 3, a tutorial with palette number 3 from 2021, and I did graphic liner, and it stained wherever the graphic liner went. Anyway, I've cleaned it up. I've tried to repair my makeup as best I can. I'm not very good at it. I came down a little bit far with the concealer just to make sure I'm good. I'm trying not to do the issue where I always don't take my concealer and primer far enough, and then when my face is done, it makes that weird line. So I was trying to prevent that, and I guess I'll fix it up later. Anyway, let's get into the palette. Let's get into this look. And I think one other little thing we're going to do to test this palette out is on one eye, I'm going to start with the dark to light. And on the other eye, I'm going to go light to dark. So we can see if there's a big color difference, just to do a little bit more experimenting. So that means I got to do 2 different things on 2 different eyes. There's not a whole lot of variety when it comes to the mattes here. So I feel like it's going to be a little bit boring, or at least boring in the sense of you're not going to see much difference with the other 2 looks I show you. Because there's just not a whole lot of variety here. And me being a colorful girl, I look at this and I'm just like, it's all gonna look the same. Anyway, we're gonna just dive in. We're gonna put this shade on the outer corner. I'm going to put this in my crease and then soften it all out with this. So I'm gonna take this brush, this is the Smashbox Full Coverage Shadow Brush, and let's go ahead and put down the darkest shade here and pop it right in the corner. Look how intense these are. So beautiful. Yeah. That is looking really nice. So this is how I tend to like to do my eyeshadows these days, just to get the most bang out of, most pigmentation out of a shadow that I can. And as you can see, this lays down super nice, super intense, and then I'm just kind of creating the shape that I want with this darker shade here. So working backwards is going to be a little bit different. Let's go ahead and just focus on this side with the mattes, and then we'll move to that side with the mattes and repeat it. except in reverse. So now I'm going to take this rougher 13 brush. I'm going to take Logan, the darker, like lighter color, I guess is how you would say it. I'm going to put this in my crease here. But yeah, I used a stickier primer. I can't remember what it is like at the current moment. Was it the Alamar Cosmetics? It was very, very sticky. And then I was working from, you know, dark to light like I usually do. But I was noticing on the edges as I was blending more and more, and maybe this was my fault because I was blending too much, but it was definitely starting to look a little bit wonky there. And I was like, oh no, that's not what I want. So this morning I did not use that primer and I had a much better blending experience. But yeah, I would say that with this formula, you know, for whatever reason, be it, you know, you guys can see it as a pro or con. I don't really see it as a con, it's just kind of a fact. I don't like using this formula with sticky primers. Sticky primers I tend to not get along with too well. I don't know, they're so temperamental. I like sticky primers for, like really sticky primers for when I'm putting on like a shimmer or something. I'm gonna go into this brush. It's the Real Techniques base shadow brush. And let's go ahead and just take a dab of that other dark brown, and we're gonna put this over the darkest shade and use this to kind of blend it into the crease, like so. I feel like that'll help soften the darker shade. Use another color, I don't know, I just feel like it'll help with the blending. And so when I do the other eye, I'll put this down and then the dark one, and that way we can see if, you know, there's any kind of difference in depth between the two eyes as well. You have to let me know which way you tend to do eyeshadow. Do you do from dark to light or light to dark? I'm just curious. So now I'm gonna go into the lightest light brown pecan, and I'm going to fluff that on a brush all along the edges. This one isn't super different from the other one. It's just kind of like a lighter sister to the other shade that we just tried. I feel like I am not someone who should comment much on the color variety because I enjoy color, and one of the things I like about color is that you have a bunch of different colors that you can mix and match to create different things. So I'm not someone who tends to reach for a palette that all have different hues of the same shadow and go to town, like even a monochromatic, you know, palettes of, you know, green. You guys know how much I love those. But even those, I feel like I always like to try and get something different each time I do my makeup look. So with these only having, let's see, 6 shadows, and you know, the 2 darker ones being similar, the 2 mid-tone lighter ones being similar, it seems a little bit repetitive to me, but again, this is coming from someone who is not an expert when it comes to neutral eye looks. But here we go. I think I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. I feel like that looks very nice. Let's go ahead and just use the last shade, Sugar, or besides Plum. You guys are going to see Plum in the other tutorials, but Sugar Cane. Let's just take that shade and use it to lighten my brow bone right here, just as another shade to use. This has been a really nice, as I've done all the looks, a really nice cleanup shade. Okay, and then I'm going to take that lightest pecan shade. Once again, I'm just going to start softening this up just a touch. Okay, I had a brief interruption there. I had to take one of my napping kiddos for a quick potty break. But we're back, and I like how it looks. I'm just doing a teeny bit more here, and then we're going to move to the other side, and we're going to work, hopefully I remember all the shades I used and where I used them, but we're going to work light to dark and just see. But there we go. That's a pretty nice blend. What do you guys think? I don't think I'll do, I need to trim my brow tails, they're getting long, but I don't think I'll do wing liner because I think that looks really pretty. I'm just gonna dab just a touch of this concealer on top. I don't want to make it too thick, but I was thinking that it's kind of unfair for me to do like one eye and then let this completely set and then do my eyeshadow on this side, because maybe it won't perform as well on a completely set base. So I want to be able to compare these, like I said, working dark to light and light to dark. So I'm just going to tap a little bit more over it just to make sure it's just as tacky as the other side was when I got started. We'll start with the softest color, which was the pecan, the lightest kind of, I don't know, light brown. We're going to dust this. This will kind of be like the setting, like setting my crease before putting the other shades on top. I haven't done this way in so long. I feel like this is foreign to me, and I'm probably applying too much since I'm not used to working with such a light color first off. But we'll just do a little dusting and focus on the top, kind of towards my brows like that. Probably took that too high. This is weird to me for whatever reason. I didn't think this would be so weird, but it's been a long time since I've done this method. And then I'm going to take that next shade in the crease, which is the second darkest light brown, and I'm focusing like I did with the other one. I kind of focused on the inner portion and then blended it up and then into my crease. Blending, I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say about the mattes as I'm working with them, except that they're blending really nicely. Like barring that time when I use a sticky primer, I'm really having a good experience. Like, look how smooth of a blend that looks. It looks beautiful. I'm gonna go into the second darkest. So the second dark shade we use up here, I'm going in with it first, and then we'll use the darkest shade after this. But I'm just gonna lay it down. It's called Nasberry. And then we're gonna tap it down on the outer corner, like so, and blend that up, kind of like I did on the other eye. I'm gonna blend that and kind of meet that darker of the light browns in the crease. It's looking nice. I'll be curious to see how well the darkest brown sticks, since this will have already gone down, if it'll be any lighter. We'll find out. Like I said, I haven't done this way of applying my eyeshadow in years. So this used to be my go-to. Like, I always started with my crease, and then the last step before shimmers was my outer corner. And now we're going into cacao. I think it's cacao. I don't know. I'm sorry. The darkest shade. Packing it on the outer corner, just like I did with the other one. This is such a dark, dark brown. This is a brown that you could definitely use, especially if you're starting with a tacky base, you could use to line your eyes, and it would stay really nicely through all the blending and look just like a liquid liner. I'm just taking the second darkest now and kind of blending and buffing that out and bringing it up like so. That looks good. Okay, let me flip around and see. They're not that far different. I feel like this one has a softness around the edges because I took this around a lot, which I'm gonna do again because I feel like that's just kind of a final step to working with my mattes, is to take that color along the outer edge and just soften everything up. But you have to tell me what you think. If you think which side looks deeper, richer, or they look the same. You know what, let's go ahead, and when we do the lower lash line, we'll use that plum shade. We'll use that down below, and then we'll have used all the mattes. And then I'm just going to go back into that sugarcane, which is the lightest kind of brow bone for me color, and I'm gonna put this here. This looks like it'll be a nice shade to use on like an all matte cut crease type of look. It's not like super, super thick in color, but it has like a nice creaminess to it. Okay, I think that's gonna do it. So here is the two sides. Using the two different methods for starting dark to light and light to dark. You have to tell me which side you prefer, or are they pretty comparable? I mean, there's differences, not to say they're identical, but I feel like they're pretty darn comparable. And I think that really speaks to the quality of her mattes and just how nicely pigmented and how easy they are to blend, because there are plenty of formulas that you try to go, you know, light to dark, and you're not gonna get a whole lot of depth just because the eyeshadow needs something to really stick to get it nice and dark. Now for the fun part, it is the shimmers. I think I'm going to, for sure, be starting with Peeled Taro. This shade, I wanna see what this looks like all over the lid. I'm not sure how much color it has. At this time, I haven't swatched them out. I don't know, I'm not someone who like loves to swatch shadows. Like, if it applies well on the eyes, I don't care about finger swatches as much, but I like to include them in videos because I know some people really do enjoy and find those beneficial. Anyway, all that to say, I don't know what it looks like all over. So I'm gonna start with it on the inner half. I'm gonna go in with this JD Glow Liquid Shadow. So I'm gonna just start picking up with a brush. Her shimmers they kind of feel like Super Shock-y, but they pick up really nicely with a brush. Like, they're very thin in formula, it's very thin in color, but you're gonna see when I put it on, it looks very intense. And I think the one thing I can say right here as maybe a con, depending on who you are and what you like, but I found that the shimmers, especially with DeDe Signature, some aren't as bad as others, but two of the ones I've tried so far, let's see, Ginger and Cranberry, they can look very textured. They apply very thickly if you want opaque color. I would imagine if you wanted to just tap it over and get some shine, you probably wouldn't get that thick look. But if you really want to pack it on to get the color to pop, you can get that kind of like dry Sahara Desert looking effect to your eyelids, so something to consider. All right, I think it's dry enough. Let's put it on and see. Ooh, that's so pretty. You guys see, like, it doesn't look like there's much on here. When I go and lay it down, it's like, oh, hello, you're there. So this shadow looks nice and thinly milled. I'm picking it up super easy on a brush. I don't have to fight to get it onto my brush. I've noticed, like, with DeDe Signature's formula, her really special shadows, they're always nice and easy to work with, which I appreciate because I'm someone who tends to steer away from like the super sparkly shadows just because they're such a pain to get on the eyes if you only like using your brush. But these are the exception to that, and that's a big reason why I love them. Okay, so we're going up here. Oh, that looks so pretty. I think I will use two colors just to use something else. I obviously can't use all of them, but this is looking really pretty in here. It's got like a greeny gold shift to it. Oh, so pretty. I had this on my inner corner. Oh, and I also used that as a highlight today. Yeah, I put powder over it so you can't really see, but I'll put some more on camera to show you guys. Okay, so there is where we are at. I'm gonna clean this brush off so I can use the same one. What should I use for the next color? Should I use pomegranate? I don't think I've used pomegranate yet on the lid. Or I used this as an inner corner the other day. I've used all the other ones on my lid. Or maybe I did use pomegranate actually. I think I used pomegranate and ginger the first time and then starfruit and cranberry, or vice versa. I don't know. I forget which ones I used. I have a terrible memory. This gold is very pretty. We're gonna do it. We're gonna go into the gold. We're gonna put the gold here. I feel like it'll be an interesting mix with the gold with this green yellow type of look, but it's not super like this type of yellow. Anyway, I think it'll be fun and different, so I'm applying it. Barely had to tap in. It got plenty on my brush. Like I said, I love how sparkly her shimmers are, but also how easy they are to work with. And as long as you like take some time tapping it around, you can also avoid it getting too crusty or like you know, dry Sahara Desert looking on your eyelid. I definitely noticed, especially with our looser ones, if I just go in super heavy, if I'm in a rush just trying to apply and go, then it can look a little bit too thick. And I personally don't like that kind of really dry, crackly look to my lid, so I prefer if I can avoid it. So right now, just sitting here kind of slowly taking my time to build up, I'm liking the texture that I see on my lid. I feel like it looks just fine. I'm just gonna blend that in like that, and there we go. I think that's a fun all neutral look. Let's see, what was her tagline again? Make the browns exciting. What do you guys think? Is this an exciting look? All right, now we're gonna go back to the outer corner. I'm gonna take that second to last darkest shadow, and I'm just gonna use that to go back over the gold and soften that up. Now we can move on to the lower lash line. Let's go ahead and take a little pencil brush, and we're gonna take that plum shade. Let's do it. That's the only matte we didn't use, so let's use it. And we're gonna keep it really close and try to stay in frame so you guys can see what I'm doing. I feel like I always duck out of frame because I prefer to like look down. It just keeps my eyes from watering. Yeah, my eyes get annoyed very easy, but I'm gonna place this down. It's a little pop of red. I'm gonna just take this brush, I'm gonna pick up the second to the last brown, or second to the last darkest brown, and I'm just gonna use that to come around, just to connect it all around. You guys know I always struggle with this outer corner. I feel like I can never get it to look very seamless, but each day is a new opportunity to try. Should I not do wing liner? I feel like wing liner would really complete the look, but at the same time, I feel like it doesn't look bad without any liner. What do you guys think? Let's go ahead and do the inner corner. I'm gonna take this little brush. It is clean, it's just stained purple. And let's go ahead and use a Sour Sop, that shade right there. And that's what we're gonna use on my inner corner. This one in pomegranate, like I said, is different. It's not like that special shimmer with tons of sparkle, but it is a really nice shimmer. If you had the DeDe Signature Tropical Skewer palette, that palette, the shimmers in there, the blue and the orange one, it reminds me of this formula. So it's very pretty. It's just very blinding. I mean, look at that. It's very, very, very nice. But it just doesn't have a ton of the like sparkle to it. It just has a whole lot of metallic. Like, look how shiny and blinding that is. So yeah, very, very pretty. Not saying, you know, not pointing that out to say that it's not as pretty as the other ones, but I just want to point it out so you can know what different types of formulas and finishes to expect in this palette. And those are the only two really that are like that. All the other ones, I would say, are just the special shimmer. These two being the chunkiest, or like the most flakiest, and then what is it? This one and this one just being gorgeous and beautiful, easy to work with, very, very pretty, no issues there, and have all the sparkly shine. Okay, so I have a little bit of fallout onto my face, but far away, I don't know, I can see a little bit, just a little bit, so something to consider. Okay, so at this point, what we're gonna do is I'm going to go off camera, put on my mascara and waterline, and I'll probably do wing liner. Who am I kidding? I don't know. You guys will see, but I'm gonna go off camera and do that, but we're gonna go ahead and cut to the final look. I'm gonna show you guys the final look just with music behind it, and then once that plays through, we're gonna go ahead and just go right into the other two tutorials. I'm just gonna put music behind it and speed it up a little bit so you guys can see quickly how I do it, because I'm not gonna have a voiceover, so it doesn't need to be too long, but I'm gonna do the two tutorials next, and then at the very end, we'll pop back on with my completed face, and we'll end out this video, and I'll give you guys final thoughts. So yeah, stay tuned. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you the final look, and then we'll jump into the other two looks that I created with the Neutral Wonder palette. Alright you guys, so there you go. Those are all 3 looks that I created, and here's the finished look from far away of the look we did on camera today. Let me know what you guys think. I feel like I see the smidgenest, I know that's not a word, but the teeniest, tiniest bit of a difference with the mattes in the look from, you know, the 2 different sides, one working dark to light and one working light to dark. The dark to light I feel like has a hint more intensity and depth to it than the light to dark. With that said though, the light to dark is still nice and deep. There's no patching issues. There's no like the shadows not sticking, no skipping, nothing like that. So no matter which way you blend, I feel like you're not going to have any problems when it comes to the Neutral Wonders palette, but that was just a little experiment I wanted to do for my own self, so I hope it's helpful for you guys, but I was just curious. But yeah, the Neutral Wonder palette, what do I think about that? Did DeDe Signature make browns exciting? Kind of like I already said in the tutorial, I don't think the mattes are exciting. Me personally, the mattes in here, when I jump into this palette, I'm just like, it doesn't matter what I put where. I'm just going to do a light brown in the crease, a dark brown on the outer corner, clean it up with the lightest shade, and we're done. That's kind of my attitude with it. However, they do give a plum, so you can get a little bit of interest there putting the plum either in different areas, using it in different ways. So not to say it's totally boring and a dud, but it just doesn't quite inspire me and doesn't really excite me when I open the palette. However, the shimmers absolutely excite me, and that's where that really saves and makes the whole palette for me personally. I'm happy to see that the formula for the mattes are spot on and fabulous, so that I can honestly say, like, I recommend this palette as a whole. And if you're someone who's more into the shimmers are the kind of focal point when you do look and what you like to play with, and the mattes are just, you gotta throw a matte on there, I definitely think you'll be in love with this palette because it's just got so many fun, beautiful, very special type of shimmers in there that just give so much sparkle on the lid. It's just stunning. I totally forgot I was going to do the highlight with you guys. Okay, we're just gonna do it now here at the end. This is Peeled Taro. This shade right here. I put it on this morning, but then I took off my eye makeup and had to redo my under eyes, and I set it and totally covered it. So let's put a little bit there. It is a little flaky, kind of like, you know, shadow flying everywhere. However, can you guys see that? I feel like I have to turn the camera down. I'll turn the camera down for the other side. I see a ton of shine. Like, it's beautiful. Okay, so it's a bit darker. Let's go back in and see if you guys can see this. Let's see. Can you guys see that? Ooh, I can see that. It's highlighting the zit I have coming through. Can you guys see the shift? I can. It's like a very gorgeous green to gold yellow type of shift. It's beautiful. I love it. So anyway, just want to throw that out there if you're someone who likes to use your shimmers as highlight. I hope you guys can see it. I feel like you can use that lightest one very easily on your face. But yeah, overall, I think if you like the look of this palette, the quality is there, so I would recommend it. And as I said, it's launching on the 20th, so if you're at all curious, DeDe Signature, I have her link. It's an affiliate link down in my description box. And also wanted to say a huge thank you to DeDe for sending me this palette. She sent it to me early, and I'm super excited I was able to fit it into my schedule to let you guys know what I thought, especially with it being neutral. And that claim on the back, I was like, I just gotta try it. I just gotta do a video with it. So that is gonna be my video for the Neutral Wonder palette. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think of this palette. If you are at all interested, are you someone who likes the shifty shadows? Are you someone who's super into neutral palettes and you think this would be something creative? Because I definitely think if you're like super into the very bare minimum neutral palettes, you still have fun with this because you could go very soft with the matte shadows and just put one of these all over the lid. And it would be so sparkly and beautiful. I think you would have a fantastic time with it as well. But yeah, I can't wait to hear what you guys think down below in the comments. If you want to follow me over on Instagram, I'm over there. I do reels and up close pictures. I also talk a lot in my stories, ask you guys questions. But yeah, you can check me out over there at LadyKatie92. And with all that said, that's going to do it for me. I'll see you guys very soon in my next video. And I do promise for the next video that you see, we will be starting the top 20 palettes from 2021. So see you guys then.